We are live at Red Moon Sound Studio in Knoxville, Tennessee. Our featured artist today is Jorden Albright.
Something for your mind, your body, and your soul. It's the power to arouse curiosity. The purpose, the goal which one acts on. A journey of force, hot like the sun and wet like the rain. Rhythmic movements in unison with others prolong an act of sensation with no limits or boundaries.
Honey, I feel you. I don't know what else I can say in this moment. Say to myself, traveled the ocean and came back in time to be broken in pieces. Now it's on purpose that I'm so alone with another few numbers to weigh down my phone. Now that I see you, I see how I'm growing to know where my peace is. And I see us there in color, waiting on each other, waiting on each other. And I see us there in color, waiting on each other, waiting on each other. Baby, can you take a hint? Maybe we can take it real slow, 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 slow. Baby, it's no accident. Maybe it's right under our noses. Baby, can you take a hint? Maybe we can take it real slow, 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 slow. Baby, it's no accident. Maybe it's right under our noses. Make me and break me on Saturday night in your treehouse apartment, gripping me tightly. Lately you're with me wherever I go, in my mind and my system. I know that I'm different, I know that I'm young. Know lots of stories about where I'm from. Know that he's lovely, I know that it's dumb to pretend I don't miss him. But I see us there in color, waiting on each other, waiting on each other. And I see us there in color, waiting on each other, waiting on each other. Baby, can you take a hint? Maybe we can take it real slow, 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 slow. Baby, it's no accident. Maybe it's right under our noses. Baby, can you take a hint? Maybe we can take it real slow, 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 slow. Baby, that's the fun of it. Maybe it's right under our noses. Just take some time. I know you tried. I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. Just take a breath. Another step. It's just a test. It will be worth it. So maybe you rushed into it, such an eager heart, and now it's broken. It don't require an alibi, a reason why. It's just emotion. You are distraught. You are so soft, and it would come. Did you think too much? Nothing is wrong with being so soft. You will grow strong, 'cause you think so much, 'cause you think so much. La 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 la. La 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 la. Just take some time. I know you tried. I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. Just take a breath, another step. It's just a test. It will be worth it. So maybe you rushed into it such an eager heart, and now it's broken. It don't require an alibi, a reason why. It's just emotion.
Thank you, Jorden and Olivia, for being here with us, for gracing us with your presence and your sound.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we're so grateful. How do you guys know each other?
Oh my goodness.
How did this
I want you to
connection
tell the
form?
story because I feel like I was just an accessory in the story almost.
So Jorden and I met a while back, mostly because I stumbled upon a show of hers
Cool.
at the lovely Pilot Light. You know, I was running late and I was literally outside and someone was holding us up and I was like, do you guys hear this? Do you guys hear what's going on? Like, I have to go inside. I cannot wait with you anymore. And I went in there. She was on stage. She was incredible. And like, instantly, I was like, I got to know her.
Precious.
Today is the first time I'm hearing this full story and I just blow.
And then I, like, followed you around to, like, a million of your shows.
You were like a familiar face though, because every time I saw you, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Olivia! I remember Olivia!" So like, I'm so glad you did that. So always do that.
That's how the friendship started. It's just
Literally.
stalking.
It's stalking,
That's
and then
all.
it's like reciprocal
You did it.
stalking. Yeah,
Way to go.
I did it. I'm a stalker.
It has to be reciprocal
has
and
to be.
mutual.
Right. I think at the beginning maybe it's not always, but then it becomes reciprocal at
Right,
the
you're
end.
like,
That's
oh
the
my
whole
God,
thing.
this person is actually really fucking
Right,
cool.
because I hit
need
her
to know
up
them.
and I was like, I need you to do
Yes.
this with me. So it's like now we're at our even level of
Yeah.
like stalking each other.
Thank
So
Friendship.
That's beautiful.
So I read somewhere that you consider yourself a indie electronic bedroom pop star.
yes.
So when you imagine people listening to your music, where are they? What
Oh
are
my
they
goodness.
doing?
They're as deep in their own like minds as they can be, but it's not in like the bad part. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like I think sometimes when people think about being like deep in their own thoughts, it can
They
be
automatically go negative.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think of it as the more positive like internal world because that's
Yeah.
where I exist most of the time. Like
Yeah.
I'm very much an introvert, so and I make my music like in my apartment by myself a lot of the time, so it's just stuff that's inside my brain that I just need to like get out.
Yeah.
So when people listen to my music, I try to put them in a similar like, oh, we're just dreaming. We're just having one collective dream together and like having fun. So
Beautiful.
it's poetry.
So I guess that's because I want to know more about that then. Like when
Yeah.
you are in that mindset of creation, where is your head? Is it more in the negative? Is it more in just the explorative? Is it contemplate? Like where are you?
Right. I think so when I first started making music or like when I was first getting into it seriously,
Yeah.
it was more cathartic. So it was maybe a more negative, like
Yeah.
I would write music when I was like going through a breakup or
Right.
like when it's particularly difficult emotions. Like It's Just Emotion, the song that I did is like very much from a time that I was trying to learn to sit with my emotions, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what I was doing
Yep.
at the time. I'm very much into that now, like consciously, but I think in the past, music was just me trying to get my feelings like
Right.
out somehow. Right. And it was coming from oftentimes like painful experiences, but I think nowadays it's very much a positive thing. Like I feel like I have a generally more positive outlook on life than I did when I was like teenage angst, like in my
Yeah,
college
you gotta
days.
Go through the phase. You
Right.
gotta do it. Just get it out.
Have to go through it, but I'm on the other side of it now, so
great.
I like to think it's more like upbeat and positive these days when I'm inspired. So
That's great. The confidence you exude I mean, it's palpable. Yeah, and I can still feel a very human part of you throughout, and you wear your armor just so well too.
Thank you.
So I'm kind of curious, what has been your journey, like finding that confidence? What has it been like?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fake it till you make it, like at
Yeah.
first, and I think sometimes still,
Works.
like it's like you kind of have to pretend that you are like a rock star,
Yeah.
and then you kind of become a rock star
Yep.
on accident sometimes, I guess.
How did I get here?
Literally.
Oh wait, I did this on purpose.
Oh, right. I manifested this. But it's like, I definitely have imposter syndrome. Like, I definitely, when people compliment me or whatever, I'm like, oh, they're just saying that. Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just saying it. But I think I back myself a lot. Like, regardless
Good.
of the imposter syndrome, I feel like I like my own music. I think even though sometimes when I don't believe that other people like my music, it doesn't matter as much to me because I really enjoy my music. So I think that's probably where my confidence comes from, is like, I am probably my own biggest fan, and I'm always in my top like Spotify like listens, and I don't like to share it on my story because I'm like, everyone's gonna be like,
No,
oh, she
who cares?
listens.
Share it. Share it.
Next year I'm sharing it when I'm my top.
Good for
you're gonna
you.
know.
Yes. That we need that energy.
Literally. So I'm just my own, I don't know, my own hype man. And I
Yeah,
have
for
like
sure.
nice friends and like people I've met in the scene that are so supportive of me.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
helps me a lot to like keep that energy going, I think. So
Yeah. Talk to me about a time where that wasn't the case.
when I wasn't feeling very
Yeah,
confident.
like when were you most feeling like that?
I think so throughout college, I think that was a very difficult time. Like
my
the
God,
early, I think all of college, but especially like the early times in college. So I'm from Memphis originally.
Okay.
So when I moved out here, like I knew some people, but it was a very, like Knoxville is very different from Memphis, even though it's in
yeah.
Tennessee. Like
It's different from anywhere.
Exactly. So I just had to kind of come into myself a
Yep.
little bit. So I would say like when I was figuring out what it means to be an adult, like honestly, during those first years of college, that's when it was the most difficult to like, because you really don't know what's going on. Like not only being in a new place, but like being in a new like mentality of like, oh, I'm grown, but I'm not. I'm like 19, so technically
Like,
I'm an
pure
adult.
Transition.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you're still a kid,
Right.
in certain ways. So I
Right.
think that's when it was a little bit more difficult to own who I was because
Yeah.
I didn't really know.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it does feel like you really know yourself now. And
Yeah.
That's really cool. So
I
good for
really
you.
have been working on it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad it comes
Congratulations. I feel like everybody deserves a trophy when they like finally figure it out.
You
It's
know
like, yes.
yourself. Congratulations.
Yeah. You did it. I feel like it would just be a participation trophy again now. And
One of
I
those
feel like
little
all of us have those.
Tiny ones from the Dollar General. Yeah. Let's go get like a whole bag of those and just give them out. Just
throw
hand them
out in the
out.
crowd. I love asking this kind of a question because I feel like it says a lot about a person. Who was the most influential person for you growing up? Good or bad, regardless.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I think from a musical standpoint and even just in general, Miley Cyrus was a very, very important to me. As a little girly from Tennessee, like I was like, oh my God, like she's Hannah Montana. Like she's out here doing the thing.
I could be that.
I could be that one day, baby. And so I very much pushed towards that, not just from the musical standpoint, but I just liked the energy of like, I mean, she had her double life or whatever. It was like, she's a normal girl, but she's also a pop star. And I guess I
it's
like
unraveling.
that.
I'm seeing this.
Do you see
Your
it?
existence is becoming like real to me.
You're like comparing it to the Hannah Montana
Yes.
timeline, and I'm right. Yeah, that's exactly what it
love
was
that,
like for
though.
me growing up. So
Yeah.
she's not someone obviously that I know in person. Maybe
No.
one day, but just seeing her like doing her thing. And I was literally watching a TikTok the other day of like a behind the scenes when she was 14, and like all the setup, the quick change, and
Yeah.
her coming up like on the stage. And I was like, she was 14 years old. So like little me, who was I guess like maybe 10 or 9 at that
Right,
time, was
right.
like, that's crazy, bro. Like I want to do that maybe one day, but I also want to be normal. Like I also want to have both. And I
want
think
both.
I've reached that point
Yeah.
now where I can do music, but also I'm just a normal girl. So
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's awesome. So from the little I know of you so far, I can feel that like creation of your art, it's definitely something you prioritize.
yeah.
What is fueling your art creation mode right now?
Right now, I think honestly it's like sharing the music now, and that's changed so much because like I said, I make my music in a very solitary way, which is why I love opportunities like this to bring like Olivia, like to do this with me, because I'm typically just by myself making music. So I think now that I'm doing this on a more public like scale, this is very new to me. Like I think I just started like playing out in like August of last year. So it's very fresh. I think now there's more of an emphasis on people are listening to this now, and I want it to be representative of me, but I'm also keeping that in mind. Like I'm keeping in mind that now this is not just my stuff that I'm putting on my little private SoundCloud. Like this is stuff that people can relate to. So I think that's something I think about more a lot when I'm making music, is like, this is for me, but I also want to tap into something that like other people can relate to. So
I mean, it's so clear too that you've created this space for people too. Like I can see that you have so many people that are so supportive and loving, and
I can't believe
that
it.
does not come easily. Like
No.
people are very, we were talking about this earlier, it's really hard to be loving and supportive and vulnerable with each other nowadays.
It's so
I don't
hard.
know what that is. We could direct it to so many different things, but you have people behind you, and that's so beautiful. So I can't even imagine what your mindset was like whenever you released your EP last year. How was that? Like where were you mentally with that?
Oh my goodness. I think I still wasn't playing out shows, because I think my first show was, I guess, like a couple of weeks before I dropped the EP. It was very random. Like
That's
I
the
got
one
hit
I was
up.
at.
It's
Oh my
great.
God.
Yes, that was
That's the one
my
I was
first
at.
show
Yeah.
in August.
And they were literally like, oh, you're about to release an EP. And I was like, this is awesome. This is great. Now I can like listen to you live and actually go
Wait, what?
listen to
So that was
you.
the pilot light show?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Okay, it took my
dude.
brain a second to register it. That's so
Yes.
adorable.
Oh, I love
can't
full
stand
circle
it. No.
moments.
Oh my
like,
God.
I'm so big on synchronicity. But like, it was I had dropped an EP before,
Right,
but this is
right.
the first one that felt very intentional, and like other people were hearing it, and like I think I was kind of not sure what was going to come from it at the time, like as far as what mindset I was in, but I knew that it was going to come together at some point. Like I'd been working on the EP since like 2019, but not really working on it, just knowing that I was making music
Like
that
you're
I
getting
wanted
there.
to put together.
Yeah.
And it took from like 2019 to I guess last year, like to get 6 songs together that felt like coherent, and there's a theme to the EP, like it's anatomy and all the songs are related to the body and that kind of thing. So it was very intentional, but I took my time with it. I was like, I'm not going to rush to put out these songs like because I wanted it to be, I don't know, natural. It's anatomy. It's natural. So
Did you wait for them to become perfect? Like I when I talk to artists, it's always a struggle when we talk about them releasing things, because I think they get trapped in this mindset that they need it to sound this specific way.
Yeah.
Were you wanting that? Is that what you gained from releasing that? Did you find that it was perfect for you?
I think I'm very much like a perfectionist, but not even a perfectionist as much as I just want it to be something that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Like it can be rough around the edges, but as long as I see that roughness and I'm like, yeah, I like that.
And,
like
stand behind it.
exactly. I just want to be able to back it myself, because again, like usually I'm used to being my own like biggest fan. So it's like if I like the music, then like that's what matters at the end of the day.
Sure.
But I am very picky, I think, about like how my songs end up turning out. So some of those songs, like I said, were from like 2019. So I sat on them for a very long time, and I didn't even think I would release certain ones of them. They were just like throwaway tracks to an extent, and I was like, maybe I'll put them out one day. But I think it's nice sometimes to put songs down for a while and then come back to them when you're like fresh and be like, oh, that's better than I thought it was.
Yeah, that's beautiful advice.
Yeah.
I think that's so helpful for other artists.
Yeah.
Too. What are you most picky about?
Oh my goodness, my vocals. Definitely my vocals.
That's so wild. That's so many people too. So many people feel the same way.
It's tricky. I don't know what it is. I mean, because it's like
Some
it's an
primal
instrument.
part of us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. Voices are so like individual and like so distinct. I think I had a very like love-hate relationship with my voice for a long time, and so I still kind of go through that when I'm recording. I'll do a bunch of takes, which is why like I feel like today with something like this was so just different.
This was the closest to live we've ever done.
Literally, I'm so glad.
Totally.
Because if I'm like by myself at my place, I'll do it like a million times. But I'm like in this space, I think the energy is so organic that I just was like, nah, this is what it is. And I like it like this. But if I was by myself at my apartment, I would have been like, no, let's do that a million more times.
Right. Until I feel absolutely great about it.
Exactly.
How How does your spirituality influence your everyday life?
Oh my
Talk
goodness.
to me about it.
I was about to say,
I've
don't
been
ask
dying
me
for
this
conversation.
because I talk about my spirituality all the time, and I'm like probably ad nauseum, like, but it's
No,
my
It needs to
favorite.
be talked about more.
It's so great. I
Yeah.
think it's like it's a part
It's
of
just
life that
mentality,
you
too.
can't ignore it. Like
No.
it's all around us, and my spirituality is like, so I do a tarot reading every morning.
Cool.
Like I'm
Okay.
very into like the divine, and I think like in my song, like the Empress, like I think one of the lyrics is like, I've learned to like love my divinity, love my hair done, and I think that's like a big thing that's come into the like picture for me lately is like I used to kind of not, I was very agnostic, like I didn't really know, and I'm still in that mindset of I don't know, you know, what is out there, but I feel very connected, like to whatever it is, and it would be very hard to convince me that there's just nothing like that's like, I don't know, influencing the way things go. And I was literally saying in the car on the way over here that I get inspired by microwaves, and not a lot of people get inspired. Like when you see the angel numbers on the
there it is. I
microwave,
was like,
you're like, what
how
does that
the
mean?
fuck? What are we talking about?
Because it's like,
It's like keeping up, and I'm like, okay,
then
that's a
where did
curveball.
it go? Yeah, I'll see like 555 or something, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, yeah,
something.
they're speaking to me right now. And it feels
Yeah.
crazy, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't care if anybody like necessarily believes the same
Right.
things that I do. Like I want people to have their own like personal connection to the divine, and I'm very much working on mine, and I think it's big in my music. I think it's
it is.
there even if I'm not trying to get at it. Like I
Yeah.
think it's in everything that I create. So
I know. I can't wait to hear it in the Empress.
oh
I'm so
my
excited to hear
gosh.
that.
That's actually, I guess,
gonna
yeah,
be
it's based
so
on the
cool.
tarot card, the Empress. I
Yes.
just thought about that
Yeah.
aspect of it. But
Yep.
yeah.
That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. Before my last question, tell me about Black Girl Mindfulness.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't think I was gonna ask.
This is no.
I
this
did
is
my
like,
research.
oh my gosh. It
Tell
is
us about
like,
it.
It was my little baby, my little
Yeah.
project. So I think I started Black Girl Mindfulness like at the beginning of my like mindfulness spirituality journey, and it was really like me trying to combine my like video like kind of thing that I like to do with my new passion for like mindfulness and spirituality. And like I have this thing where like when I have like my YouTube page, for example, I fall off very easily. It's like I'll get inspired to create content, and then I'll have a long time where I just don't want to make content at all. And I think that happened with Black Girl Mindfulness. After a while, I was like, this is a lot to like be like managing, but I still have it as like a snapshot, I guess, of all the content I made. It just is about my growth into like loving meditation and loving like sitting with my emotions and like really trying to figure out what it means to like be a human being and to be a Black girl, like in all of that, because I think there's a big stigma about like mental health and spirituality, like specifically in the Black community. It's very like it doesn't get talked about as much as it should, and so I think it's a very unique like perspective to frame it like culturally like that too. So I wanted to find like my people. Like I don't know, find my people on the internet. That's what I always do. Like I love that.
I mean,
so,
we might as well, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we have this like opportunity. We might as well find our people.
right. We have the internet, and they didn't have that before. Like we can just find people that like the same things. That's insane.
Are you still active on it?
I always say that one day I will go back to doing Black
hope
Girl
you do.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
I would love to.
It looks so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
I
course.
really, it was my baby for a while.
Yeah.
And I think I grew more into the music thing after that. It was like, I have to find some way to get creative at a given time. And it was that at that time.
Yeah.
Right now, I think I'm leaning more into my music. And I also do TikTok now, which like I don't like to talk
Wild.
about, but
It's wild, man. It is a nuts part of our culture as a whole.
it's insane.
Like-
TikTok is actually it's a different like plane of existence
beast. It's
almost.
wild.
And I'm still learning it, but I enjoy it enough to like do it pretty regularly.
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably go back to Black Girl Mindfulness at some point, but right now I'm feeling very like music and very dumb videos on TikTok right now. And
You need the balance.
right, exactly. So we'll see what happens.
Good. Well, I hope you do. And I also think that there's something to say about just flowing with it and accepting that we're going to go through stages where we have more push to do
Yeah.
those things. And then there's going to be times where we don't. That's just being human.
Absolutely.
Existence.
Absolutely. I think it's
Yeah.
it's cycles. It's like big cycles.
Of
And I
course,
think
yeah.
like even with making music in general, like the 4 songs that I did, I think they're all so different. Like
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are exactly like the same, even like genre wise. I don't know. I've had a very hard time like boxing
Consolidating.
myself,
Yeah.
like as far as like what style do I make, like whatever,
Yeah.
because it's changed as I've like changed over time. So it's like the first, I think Under Our Noses, I never even thought I would release that song. I like dug that out of my
I
computer.
know.
From
I'm so glad you did. That was so good. You led with that, and I was just like,
There it
yes.
is. There it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to go in order because it was like, that was, I guess, yeah, like 2018-ish. And then It's Just Emotion was one of the first songs that I dropped like on like platforms and stuff. So that was in my early like Spotify days. EKG is like my big one now.
Yeah.
And then The Empress it doesn't technically exist yet. It hasn't fully been like posted anywhere,
Yeah.
but I'm so glad I got to share it here.
I know.
So
Yeah. I can't wait
it's-
to hear both of those. It's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
I'm just so excited that I got to debut it here because
Us too.
it's
Yeah.
thank you for having
Yeah,
me for
of
it.
course. And
Yeah.
tell us, like, fans, because I'm one of them now. Tell us fans where we can find all of your stuff.
Yes.
Where's
Oh my
the best
goodness.
way to like keep up with you?
I'm an internet princess. So
Cool.
if you search Jorden Albright, you'll probably find some stuff I don't want you to see even, but
That's fine.
I'm all
It's fine.
over.
We'll just move on.
You just keep it pushing.
Right.
You can find my music like on all streaming platforms. I'm pretty big on Spotify, Apple Music, like Amazon, all that stuff. I've got YouTube videos up. I've got some music videos. But yeah, and then I'm on TikTok too, but that's a little bit sillier than my music
That's
stuff.
fine. We'll accept you. Come as you are. Right.
Except my goofy, my goofy self.
Cringe,
The
the
cringe is-
wild, the nut, all of it.
Cringe
Just
de la
accept it.
creme. Cringe. Is that?
Cringe de la creme. Oh my
That's what
God.
I'm saying.
Can we
That's the
please
cringe.
Make a liqueur of that. That would be so cool. Well, thank you guys for being here. I
Thank
can't wait to hear the rest
you.
of your songs, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much,
course.
and thank you, Olivia, for being here.
Thank you. Thank everyone in this room.
The gratitude is just palpable.
Oh, you guys are dorks. I love it.
we are.
It's perfect. It's great.
It's the Aquarius moon. Like,
You had to throw it in.
I had to. I have to mention it whenever there's an opportunity. So.
Well, what song do you have next for us? I believe it's EKG, correct?
EKG, yes.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear it.
Sweet, thank you.
Feel my feel my yeah so damn out of touch, kept my head down. Sold down my love till you bought another round. Gotta get rid of this drama. All of these feelings is killing me. Come and get some of this karma. You was liking to me, you was liking to me, friend to me. I was apparently someone you wanted to call company, and low light bliss is all we need on nights like this. Yeah, now I'm whipping to your corner like I'm in a roller coaster, tripping over bottles that you emptied on your own. Funny thing about it is I'd rather be these feelings is killing me. Come and get some of this karma. You was liking to me, you was liking to me, like I was apparently someone you wanted to call, someone you wanted to follow. Now I'm whipping to ya, now I'm whipping to ya. It's all we need on nights like this. Yeah, now I'm whipping to your corner like I'm in a roller coaster, tripping over bottles that you emptied on your own. Funny thing about it is I'd rather be at home, but I've been sleeping over and you're under my clothes. Whipping to your corner like I'm in a roller coaster, tripping over bottles that you emptied on your own. Funny thing about it is I'd rather be alone, but I'm feeling on your body and you feel my heart, feel my heart, my heart, feel my heart, yeah, heart, my heart, feel my heart, feel my, feel my.
A little bit of turbulence, but it looks like we're gonna stick it for the landing, folks.
It's so goofy. Bitches don't fuck with me, bitches enough. Bitches in love with me, bitches myself. I'm undecided if this shit is luck. Biding my time, J's in my truck. Bitches don't fuck with me. Bitches in love with me. Yeah, I've been running it up, did that shit alone, stacking my tracks, do that on my phone. I'm about this vision, I'm about my soul. I'm in the business of minding my own. Bitches don't fuck with me. Bitches in love with me. Got used to glowing, used to the shine. I've been on fire since 2009. I'm an empress, baby. I'm a leading lady. I'm outstanding, pay me. Like I'm slim, no shady. Yeah. Bitches don't fuck with me, bitches enough. Bitches like family, bitches my sons. I'm at the center like my name Malcolm. Highest purpose, greatest outcome. Lucky I'm stuck with me, though it's been a journey to love on myself and then some. Love my divinity, love my head done. All this abundance done made my mouth run. Bitches don't fuck with me. Bitches in love with me.
Hey, this your girl Skills. You don't reach my page. I hope you like it.
Mother, may I cop the phone? The top shop is closed. I hotbox alone while I'm dialing you up. So you stop, drop, and roll to my spot. We slowly drop all the clothes. Mother, may I cop the phone? They pop Patron. I'm hot pocket froze, but you're heating me up. But you knock off controllers, pop rocks and soda. Mother, may I cop the phone? Rock crop tops and stones, pop squats on my throne. Like an empress, baby. Like a stand in pain.